Welcome back, everybody. Clint here today with Classic Firearms, here to talk about everybody's favorite bolt action to do their 360 no-scopes with, the CheyTac M200 intervention chambered in 408 CheyTac. This gun is of legendary reputation, mostly through video games. Thank you, Modern Warfare 2, for that. And yes, I have attempted the 360 no-scope in real life. It didn't go well. I wound up flagging everybody within a 360 vicinity, and I don't know where the bullet went. But anyway, just kidding. But let's just say this, though. It's not a good idea to do that. 31 pounds of just mass and length. I mean, you're what, about 56 inches or so, depending on where the stock is adjusted to. This thing is huge. And it's shooting on top of that an absolute beast of a cartridge. If I show you the 408 CheyTac round, there you go, right? I mean, sharp, pointy boy, moving super, super fast. It actually can stay supersonic all the way up to about 2,500 yards or so. Wow, which blows my mind. Here it is next to a 5.56 just for comparison, and here it is next to the 50 BMG for further comparison. But unlike the 50 BMG, the 408 CheyTac is designed with precision in mind. Anti-material, made to rip through light armored vehicles, some tanks, people. But the 408 CheyTac, you're looking for that precision, pinpoint accuracy at very great distances. In fact, the first time I ever shot one of these was right outside of Charleston, South Carolina. CheyTac was having a demo day, and this was a couple years ago. And well, we got to shoot out to a mile, and that was my first time shooting a mile. We had some very fancy optics on there. And what was really cool about shooting at these distances was you would pull the trigger, you would then kind of reevaluate or reassess, realign your optic with the target, and you can literally watch the projectile climb, drop, and then miss the target. But when it did miss, which was really cool, the splash effect was massive. And the fact that you could sit there and just watch it as it's traveling is pretty impressive stuff. So all of that to say that this is a very impressive rifle. Again, it is just made for precision. The fit, finish, and everything, it's pretty nice at the end of it all. Again, 31 pounds, about 50 plus inches long, again, depending on where you have the stock adjusted to. It is not something that would be all that comfortable for, hiking, to take, backcountry with or anything like that. Definitely something you get into position, you ambush. You wait for your target to either come into your sector of fire and you take your shot whenever you need to take it. All right. It does come with a 7-round detachable box magazine, which is pretty nice. So, I mean, overall, it's a CheyTac's long action bolt, but you'll notice it being magazine fed, which is pretty nice if you ask me, because, well, you have multiple rounds. You don't have to hand load each round if you don't want to. The kind of drawback with this system here, though, is you'll notice there's a little play in this magazine. And one thing I noticed while shooting it, just something kind of interesting, is if it was fully loaded with all 7 rounds, I would pull the trigger and the mag would actually fall out, which was kind of funny. Once I got, about 5 rounds, once I shot the first 2 rounds, 5 rounds, 4, 3, 2, then it actually stays seated. I mean, it doesn't take a lot. Right? And so, I just thought that was kind of funny. I'm like, okay, whatever. I can throw a bag or something underneath here. But again, for as much as the rifle costs, I was maybe thinking there's something wrong with the mag or whatever. And just for the, sake of scrutiny or whatever you guys want to call it, I did think about some other paddle release type rifles out there for the magazine and thought maybe what I'll do is do that same test again. Doesn't take much. I'm not coming back here and going at it the AK, right? Let's just start off pretty hard. Nope. How about the PTR? No. FAL? No. Okay. Not going to try it on the AR because that doesn't make sense. The Zastava? Zastava. Nope. How about this bolt gun up here? No. That looks like they're all staying right where I need them to. So, and none of those cost, $14,000 or whatever it might be. So, just there it is. Woo! Little finicky, to say the least. But other than that, this thing's a beast. Again, shooting it out to a mile that we did. We were out with our buddy Brandon, Texas Plinking, shooting it there some. He has had his at 375 CheyTac is what his was chambered in. And honestly, for as big as the gun is, for as wild that cartridge is, you would think, you know, you'd probably see a lot or have a lot of felt recoil when shooting this. Not the case, though. Again, 31 pounds unloaded without an optic. And just look at the bipod itself, which is adjustable and easy enough to do as well. As you can see there, just a little button that you push right here. And let's bring that back in. Easy enough, trying to get it to lock into place. There we go. It's just, there's no recoil. Obviously it thuds pretty well. And we got a top-down shot of the brake doing its job, this 3-chamber brake with the ports on the side. It just does a really good job at dispersing those gases and keeping everything nice and horizontal. And I mean, it still lets you know you're shooting a beast, but it works very, very well for that. You'll notice that the overall design of this gun is just kind of remarkable. Again, big, long, 29-inch barrel here, fluted for, well, heat dispersion, and on top of that, to cut down a little bit of weight. With that, you've got this shroud that fits over the barrel that the actual bipod links to. You can loosen this up. It's just kind of a clamp design that comes around it, but you don't want this bipod applying any type of pressure directly to the barrel. So what do? You put the shroud going around it, and it's completely free-floated, just like a lot of the different types of rail systems out there. Like this one in this chassis that you see right here. The barrel isn't being touched by any part of the actual chassis, so that's nice. Same thing, similar to what you see here on the Scar, right? Nothing's interfacing with the barrel because you don't want anything that's going to apply any type of torsion or pressure on that might cause you to throw your shot, right? Because that will happen. Coming back a little bit further, oh, and yes, the bipod can fold up out of the way, but coming back a little bit further, you're gonna notice you got this handle on the underside of the actual gun. So some people might look at that and be like, well, that's interesting. Why would they put it there? Why wouldn't they just kind of like put it on the top or something? Well, for one, it's gonna block your optic. But if you look at like the Barretts, like the M82, M107, they have one that just kind of folds over, right? So I can pick this up, it'll swing over in front of the optic, and then I can kind of carry that away, and away it goes. However, what they saw fit for this is something that's going to be a lot more substantial. And also the placement of this is strategic as well. It's pretty much right in the middle of where all of the weight is going to be dispersed. You have all of this weight from this big, long, heavy barrel all the way at this end. Then you've got the receiver right close by here. So it's actually pretty well balanced right where this sits. You're probably going to have some expensive, heavy optic like we do right here with the Leupold Mark V HD. You're probably going to have that sitting on top. So that's going to add even more weight as well. So the placement of the handle here and not, further out front or anything like that makes sense. That way when you're carrying this thing along, well, it's balanced. You're not having to like drag this thing behind you, right? Coming back a little bit further, we've already talked about the magazine, the CheyTac long action bolt. And yes, as you can tell, it's very much so a long action. This thing, if I pull the stock out just a little bit more, I can go ahead and take that completely out. There's a button, actually, let's go ahead and turn this around and show you guys. Make this a little bit easier. Nice branding on the side there to let you know it is the M200 intervention. And you'll notice there's a button right here. That is what allows you to retract and collapse the stock. Also, to remove the bolt, you've got just this tab right here. Just pull that and the bolt comes right out. And that right there is your bolt mechanism, your bolt assembly, which is pretty wild, right? So go ahead and line that back up. Everything just falls right back into place, locks back in, easy day. Woo! Now the trigger on it is also a fantastic trigger, the Timney that it comes with, and I'll go ahead and show that off here because this thing is fantastic, all right? We'll just go ahead and do a little bit of a take up here, and it is adjustable. 1 to 4 pounds, I believe, is what it's adjustable to, and boom. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm barely applying any pressure. We'll go ahead and do this one more time. Applying pressure, applying pressure, applying pressure. That's that, right? All right. What about the safety? The safety, you'll notice that there's actually just a little lever right here. It's just an underside safety, very easy to manipulate. You'll notice that if you can feel it and it's in the way of the trigger, then okay, it's locked into position. But the moment you're ready to go into battery or start shooting this thing, flip it forward, apply pressure, drops, ready to rock and roll. Easy enough, right? Very cool. Thick scope base that you can see right here. It's actually a 40 MOA mount. So, you know, that's kind of an interesting topic, I think. If you'd like to do maybe a video where we talk about like a 20 MOA versus 30 versus 40 MOA scope mount and height and things like that, let us know. I'm sure Professor Matt can enlighten us a little bit. But anyway, continuing on, 5-position adjustable stock. Let me go ahead and put this back on right over here. Get these lined back up. And there we are. Perfect. Push the button, and we are locked into place there. Cool. Actually, I think I can go in a little bit further. Awesome. Great. Continuing on with this guy, ultimately, it is an absolute beast, as I've said. It's a pleasure to shoot. It feels great. The Timney adjustable trigger, again, I think it's the Timney Hunter trigger, 1.5 pounds. I think I said 1 pound earlier, 1.5 pounds to 4 pounds. It is just a fantastic rifle. It's just sometimes, you know, I think about the scope, the magazine, and I'm just like, you know, I don't know if it actually is the magazine, but as you can tell, it's a really subtle latch right back here that actually locks the magazine into place. And if it was more angular, you think about like the AK design. I mean, obviously I beat the hell out of that one there and it stays right where I want it to, right? If I take a look at how this one latches in, that is a very not so subtle latching system that you see right here that just locks right into place, causes a great traction, I guess you could say. It just locks right in, which is awesome, exactly what you want. So that way you don't have to worry about this thing falling out, right? That's great. So there you have it though, and the round just fits in, you know, pops right in just like that, easy enough. But anyway, perfect. That one popped in just without a problem that time. Great. But ultimately, we've seen this thing in Modern Warfare 2. Jack Carr's in the Blood book. They reference 2 of these being utilized. There are some special forces in the world that actually use this. I think there's a Turkish unit. Kaya probably knows all about that. There's also a SAS that has used it. There's some Poland 601st Special Operations that have used this rifle for those really long engagements. I am curious, though, if they actually replace the A2 grip that comes with it, because this thing, you know, what is it with these really expensive guns being manufactured by really renowned, reputable manufacturers? Put an A2 grip on there. Is it just DoD BS, or can we throw on something with a little bit more comfort? Whatever, I guess you figure you're probably going to replace it anyway, so just throw on the cheapest part there. Call it a day. Let me know if you guys think that's what that is. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about the M200 Intervention chambered in 408 CheyTac. This is I think while we were at CheyTac's kind of demo day, I did shoot their 300 Win Mag out to 500 yards, which is really cool. I do believe we got to shoot the 375 CheyTac as well, but of course, everybody wants to pull the trigger on the 408. But all in all, the 408 CheyTac is the one that, you know, everybody talks about. That's the one that is considered, after shooting the 375 and everything else, the 408 is just incredible. It's still a very expensive round. I mean, more expensive than a lot of your 50 BMG out there as well. But I mean, just, it's a beast, like I said. Oh, the stock. By the way, it does have an integrated monopod right here. You can adjust this for your elevation, just like you can with a lot of the other monopods out there that come standard on some other types of systems out there. Like, again, we can bring up the Barrett M82, M107, and so on. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about the M200 Intervention, again, chambered in 408 CheyTac. If you've had experience with the others, let me know about that. Let me know if the little, you know, magazine falling out thing is something that you've had happen to you, and, you know, that's, you know, whatever. But anyway, just let me know what you guys think about that. Not, you know, just stay tuned. You'll see, all right? Just you'll see. But in the meantime, MP5K, sorry, SP5K, because gun laws. But the SP5K with the Comp M5, the B&T Picatinny mount, the brace, actually, which is one that I'm a huge fan of because it doesn't flop around. We also have the pick rail back here and the Picatinny mount for it, which is, again, just a nice feature for this giveaway because it gets nice and compact. It is the K model, so you got the little bit shorter barrel in it. 30-round German mag because the whole gun's made in Germany, you know, just like the real MP5. I mean, it is a real MP5, just doesn't have the giggle switch, but it still has a fun switch, just not, you know, the funnest switch. It still has the Franklin Armory binary trigger, which, you know, goes bang when you pull the trigger and release the trigger, and it's just pretty freaking awesome. And if you want to see Kai and I just kind of go all Fed boy and really start to just absolutely run this thing, check out that video. We have a good time with it. It's a lot of fun.
What'd you say to me?
I didn't say anything to you. I said something about you. But now that you're here, I talked about us going Fed boy with the MP5. SP5. Son of a... Anyway. You knocked over my bullet, man. Anyway.